after meeting somebody, somebody would ask me, "What what did you think of that person?" Uh, and said, uh, "Nothing." Or if they did really needed an answer, then I had to start thinking about that person. What did this person say? What did behave? So if I had to answer, I would have to say, okay, well, let me start thinking about it now. Then I can perhaps give you an answer about their personality. But I'm much happier with simply allowing that human being to be the being, the essence identity, and I'm not all that interested in that overlay of the personality that lies on top of the being. Now, the personalities are very interested in other personalities. It's so fascinating. You can talk about to other people. But when you access the dimension of being, the personalities actually become fairly uninteresting. It's just a bit more, well, most personalities has quite a bit of drama in them and trouble and all kinds of strange things. But after a while, say, okay, well, it's not that interesting, the human level, because it kind of just tends to be quite repetitive, similar patterns that operate in humans, somewhat different scripts that humans are acting out as part of their conditioning. And so what you're really knowing is, when you look at the personality, is the script that they are acting out as part of their conditioning. And so gradually I lost interest in the scripts that people act out, and I'm happy with just allowing the human to be there and sense the being behind the human. And so you don't have many opinions about humans. Now, there may be some extreme cases when the dysfunction of the egoic mind is actually so obvious that this person is like clinically mentally ill, then obviously you see that, and that's fine. There are some very heavy personalities, and it's sometimes not easy to go beyond that, because the density of the personality can be extremely heavy. To penetrate the density, that you have to be really very acutely present within yourself, and then you can see this. So, but this is the meaning of non-judgment. Non-judgment means that it doesn't mean you recognize what happens on their personality, but you don't make that conditioning, the script, you don't make that into an identity. That is a mistake, and that's the meaning of judgment, when you make the conditioning of a person into their identity. That's judgment. So the relinquishment of judgment doesn't mean you say everybody is beautiful and fantastic. Well, the personality is not, probably, or some personalities are quite pleasant. In quite a few cases, the personality is not absolutely dense, and there is light shining through. And it's not difficult to sense the being behind the personalities. Many, or if not most of you, no longer have a very dense personality. So when you meet people here, you can more easily sense the being behind the personality than perhaps in everyday life. It's easier because as you go through the awakening process, the density of the personality diminishes, and then the deeper being shines through, and that is also that is the light of consciousness that shines through, not unimpeded by a dendrite. Like you have a lamp and a lampshade. The lampshade is a personality. Some lampshades are so dense, very little light comes through. Other lampshades are little density. They have greater transparency, and then a lot of light shines through the lampshade. And that's when you meet a human who is a transparent lampshade, and that's quite beautiful. You meet, because then you meet something that is deeper than the conditioned entity there. And so many humans that you meet here will manifest some degree of that loss of density of their lampshade personality. And that which shines through, that is the light of the unconditioned consciousness. That is what Jesus described. I'm sorry, I have to keep quoting him again. He said, "You are the light of the world," he said when he was talking to. In another gospel, he said, "I am the light of the world." And in the other gospel, he said, "You are the light." Of course, both are true. You are the light of the world. He is pointing to their essence identity as the light of the world that enables this world to arise, to be perceived. You are the light of the world. It doesn't mean you are a VIP, because probably if you're a VIP, and then that VIP identity would probably obscure the light of the world in you to a great degree. VIPs are anybody who is heavy, not just what we normally understand as VIPs, people who have whatever they represent in society. They have a private jet. I suppose if you have a private jet, you're a VIP. So I will never reach that status, nor would I want to. But you can also be poor and be a VIP in your own eyes, in your own, and a very important, heavy personality that's complaining all the time about other people and the world. And every complaint that this heavy personality makes strengthens their egoic identity and increases the density of the personality, preventing the light from shining through. So the realization in you of this, that which pervades the universe, the emanation of God, which is consciousness in various vibrational frequency, that can be an actual experiential realization rather than believing in it. Exchanging the belief that God is a patriarch, that controlling or neglecting his duties. Patriarch is a male, so you let go of that, and then no, God has the presence, the divine presence pervades the universe. It is the essence of who or what I am, and you are. That opens up the possibility of going beyond just a simple belief, mental thing, of sensing something. When you become really still, you can sense a presence that is within, and also ultimately there's no difference between within and without, but for the moment let's call it, because everything is within. The entire world unfolds within consciousness. Everything is, Course in Miracles says there is nothing outside of you. So everything is an inner phenomenon. The entire world is inner. The entire world is that consciousness. So as you become still, be still and know, this is the non-conceptual knowing, that I am God. These words are all ultimately synonymous, pointing to the same thing. Be is being, still cessation of mental noise. Know, a deep knowing that is non-conceptual, that I am, the I am presence, first person singular of to be, God, the divine, the ultimate, the source of all life. Be still, know that I'm God. You can string together as one in the same way that in India, the three words Sat Chit Ananda, they string it together. Sat is being, Chit is consciousness, Ananda is the joy that comes when you realize the oneness of you, that you are consciousness and you are the being.